Hello and welcome. It's me, Mars44, and I'm back with another Cardfight Vanguard. It's not Crayon Line. Deck profile. And today's deck profile will be a updated Dragonic Overlord The End, the Crossride version, because it's the only one I've done so far, I think. I'll do the other one later. But anyways, so I have someone with me, my cousin, Jeff Ninja Thunder.
Hey guys, Jeff Ninja Thunder here.
And yeah, it's his deck. He completed it, so
Finally.
Exactly, right?
After like what, 3 months, something like that.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever. Okay, let's jump right into this. So,
Yes.
our starter, sorry, I pulled that off actually, is Red Pulse Dracokid. Sorry. The reason why you play Red Pulse Dracokid is actually because at the end of August, or I think already, is because wow. Conroe is now banned actually because of the new Novell Grade 4, all that shit, but whatever. Let's get going.
Helps the Crossride, right?
Yeah.
It's just
and
if you
this
already
is awkward.
If you already have Overlord in hand, you try and search for the end, or maybe extra Persona Blast.
Yeah. So, of course, since we're playing the Crossride variant, we're gonna play the normal 4 Dragonic Overlord. Can you see that? Yep. Good.
Move it down a bit.
The reason why you play 4
Just 'cause
Dragonic
it's-
Overlord is A, easier to get the Crossride off. B, it's
Crossride deck.
yeah. Why wouldn't you play it? Dragonic Overlord's 11k Vanguard, one of the actually first ones, and he's still a great card, so why not play 4? And then, of course, 4 Dragonic... Whoops. Dragonic Overlord The End.
That's 4? Oh, that's 4, yeah. Okay. I was like, that looks like 3.
Yeah.
Spread them out a little bit.
Of course, you're going to play
Careful
4
with
because of his Persona Blast, which... Wow, I can't
Everybody
speak right now.
knows.
Yeah, if you don't know it, then you're stuck at Vanguard.
No,
I'm
just-
kidding,
just-
I'm kidding.
Just learn it.
No.
You'll always see it.
Pretty much all it is, if it hits anything, drop Persona Counterblast 2, drop a copy of The End, and restand him. Easy as that.
Basically.
Okay.
Actually, before you
Okay.
end off with the grade 3s, I would like to ask, when Booster Set 15 comes out, which once this video is uploaded, it's already out, but
Yeah.
will you be switching to the Break Ride Overlord?
Yeah,
or
I like personally playing 2 normal ones and 2 Break Ride versions.
How come?
I just think it works because the goal of this deck is actually, if you play the Crossride variant, is to actually get the Crossride, not the Break Ride. But it's nice to have the 2 Break Ride in there because if I can ride it and I get pushed to 4 damage early,
It's a Crossride as well.
It's a Break Ride and a Crossride. But the goal of this deck is not to get the Break Ride. Saying that now. Do not aim for the Break Ride ever. Aim for the Crossride. So if you're 3 damage and you're sitting on that Break Ride Overlord and you have the End in hand, Crossride. Don't care.
so why not play 4 then? Or do you just like
No, you want
the counter
2.
blast?
No, you want 2 of these because they're great for rear guards. Because if you can counterblast 3 for it and still have the threat of the End, it is so powerful. Because it
That's
gives
true.
a lot of threat, and you'll see someone that you'll
Especially
be wanting to boost them later. So, grade 2 lineup.
I agree with that.
Are something behind that? Yep. Whatever. Okay. 4 Burning Horn Dragon. Just
Move it.
12k.
This is the center.
Sorry.
No, it's
Okay,
fine.
yeah.
I'm just trying to show you the center.
Normal 12k attacker. Not much to say. It's 12k attacker.
Her chest is the center. Easy
Okay.
way to remember.
Not much to say. 12k attacker. Play it in a deck if you can. Done. Okay.
Yeah.
Play 3 Berserk Dragon because he's pretty much just like the better Blaster Blade in a way. Because you counterblast 2 when he's called to rearguard circle and you get to retire grade 2 or less rearguard. So you don't have to worry about it so much. Easier to kill off like boosters and that, and that's about
Take
it.
care of the back row.
Yeah,
pretty
take care
much.
of the back rows. Just
That's-
retire stuff. It's great all around.
Isn't that the goal of Berserk Dragon in this deck? Because of
Yeah.
how much front row pressure you have?
Yeah, you already have so much pressure in this deck, that just adds even more. It lets you kill stuff. It helps a bunch.
Yeah.
So, and our last grade 2 is 4 Bellicosity Dragon, the unflipper of Koguro. Now, what makes him so good is he lets you be able to constantly have that the end pressure there if you haven't dropped all your copies yet. Reason being is if you have 2 open, they're not going to be letting that the end hit ever. Well, almost ever. Unless they have to, because they don't want that restand and you getting your 2 plus 1, that plus 1 back. Because it's just so good, because you're dropping grade 3 and could end up getting a possible 20k extra shield to hand or something, or a P-guard. It could really change the whole game
I know it also helps with Dracokid because you can counterblast, put in the soul if you have a bar thrown behind him, and then attack.
Yeah, and it also
And it
really helps with
it hits
like,
17k, right?
you can be a bit more lenient with your counterblasting because you don't have to worry so much anymore.
Yeah. So I guess it helps you use it if you've lost most of your counterblast and maybe you have one face up pressure with it.
Whoops. Okay. So let's get on to grade 1s.
Grade, not uno. I mean, no, it is uno. It's not dos. It's not tres. It's uno.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. I don't know what comes after cinco. I don't know Spanish. I didn't take Spanish.
Seis, cuatro, set.
I took my 1 year of French. I'm happy. I'm done.
Oui, oui.
So 3 bars. 8K vanilla. Not much to say. The only thing you really have to know about them is the reason you play them is to get that 21k column, not 20-way K.
20-way.
Yeah,
hey, I'm going down 20-way street, guys.
Okay. 21k column on with the end because most Vanguards right now are actually 11k, and there are those Crossrides like a lot of the reverses.
But if they miss it.
But if they miss it or something, it's 21k, easy 15k guard. Not much they can do.
It's good for pressuring rear guards too, right? If you really want to pressure out a rear guard, so you get 21 on the rear guard, and if they're 11k base because they're a grade 3 or something, still hits for a good number.
And it's really good pressure, even then, because a lot better chance and all that. It just works great.
How come 3 not 4?
There's other grade 1s you need in this deck. Just bottom line, you can only.
No, I know the answers. It was just.
I don't want to explain everything though.
No, I know, but it's important. These people need to know.
Okay, so obviously next up the 4 P guards. Why 4 P guards? Because you need the 4 P guards.
Maria and Barri, you're hating on that Seal Dragon trigger there. I mean P guard there.
I don't like the Seal Dragon P guard. I just don't think it looks overly nice. I like these two a lot more. My favorite is Maria.
My favorite's Barri. For some reason.
That's just. It's all preference. I don't know, something about Maria, it just looks really cool to me. Like, I like the fire and all that, and like the little flares coming off and all that. It's really cool. I just like the artwork a lot. So I don't know what else to say other than 4 P guards. Almost every deck other than, like, what, Spike Brothers run 4, one other, I forget.
Alright,
whatever. Next up, 2 Flame of Hope Aermo. Now, you do have a choice. I wish I actually had a copy with me right now. But there's a Seal Dragon Cursey, whatever his name is.
Calls
Cursey? No, it's Cursey.
No.
Is it Cursey or Cursey?
It's Cursey. It's Cursey. It's Cursey. Because Cursey is the one on the crayon line that always confuses me.
Cursey.
There's the
show. I have a copy right here. Cursey, can you see that?
Yeah.
Cursey. Pretty. The reason why you have the choice between him and Aermo. I prefer Aermo. Just the problem with Cursey is he can only ever be used once, and even then they need a grade 2 rearguard or Vanguard. And I just don't find it useful. Aermo gives pressure every turn in a way, because a drop to draw, you could drop a grade 3, draw like a 10k or a P-guard, and totally change the end, and totally change the whole match right there and then. It's just because of it.
It's really good because of the cycling to help.
And if you have it like behind the end, you swing like that. Whoops, didn't pick that up. If you swing like that, it's giving a threat of a twin drive, a drop and draw for the end. That's pretty much 3 chances to get a copy of the end.
On top of which draw triggers as well don't help.
Exactly. So we'll get to that later. So next up is 3 Dragon Monk Gojo. He's the best ride in this deck if you're going first, because he's a free rest drop draw. It's as if you're getting your drive check just without getting the +1. Also, and it could really help because if you don't have a grade 2 or something, it could help you draw into that grade 2 or something. It's super useful.
It's nice just throwing it maybe in a dead column where there's no front row, and just call it rest, drop and draw to cycle through your deck a little bit.
Thin your deck out, hope for the ends, get more triggers. Not much to say.
Yeah.
And now the last grade 1, I know a lot of grade 1s, a lot of different ones, but it all works. Is 2 Heatnail Salamander. Can actually see Heatnail Salamander. You only play him in the Crossride variant, not the Dauntless, which is a lot more aggressive. This is actually a really defensive deck. It's pure defense. It's not aggressive at all. So if you prefer aggressive, go with the Dauntless build, which Marl's 44 will show you at one point, or you can go
Probably soon,
look it up
because
somewhere
it's my
else if you
main
have to.
thing.
If you want it like this second, like
the
I'm
version I
recording
prefer.
this exact second. You're like, oh, I want to go build a Dauntless.
So what's the reason for Heatnail? I know it, of course.
You slap it behind your rear guard, always, because well, you can slap it behind your Vanguard, but usually your rear guard. For the reason being, it adds a lot. It adds pressure in that column because its ability is if you hit a Vanguard, return it to deck. So that gives you more cards in your deck, which helps you not
Deck out.
Yeah, deck out, and it helps out a lot because you retire a grade 1. So why isn't that useful? Who knows? Like Dauntless Reverse. Marvel's 44 showed you that though. This is like the same thing almost, just not
Basically.
every turn because what it does is retires grade 1s. I know once with Dauntless Reverse I was facing Marvel's 44 here with it. I retired every last grade 1 in his whole deck on him. He had to slap a draw trigger behind like everything.
Yeah.
And he wasn't happy anymore, and then even then I could retire those on him.
Yeah.
And then he ran out of stuff to use to boost. And it
I
came
think
down
one of
to
the other
attack
things with
11.
I think one of the other things with Heatnail is because your deck is so defensive, you've picked off most of their rear guards. So just adding more picking
Pretty
off
much
rear
what
guard
this deck
pressure.
is, because it's so defensive, you add a lot of pressure to either A, thin their hand out by having to call more stuff to get attacks in or boost, or just having the pressure and making them
Yeah.
dump hand to
It's a
guard
nice
everything.
it's a nice column behind Burning Horn or an Overlord, and so is Aermo. 6Ks aren't bad, especially because it seems to work out. We test the deck a lot, and it seems to work out perfectly.
Okay,
But
so let's clean these
with
up.
the Heatnail, it just
guy.
adds a little bit more rear guard retiring pressure, which is important
Yep.
because they can't pressure you as hard, which is the point of the defensive deck.
Okay, up next are the trigger lineup. So,
Of course, because
we
you
play-
can't have a Vanguard deck
There
without
is
triggers.
there's 2 ways you can run it. I prefer it this way though, which is 4 stand, which is obviously because not obviously. The reason you play 4 stand in this deck, you play stand in it because of the rear guards. The rear guards add actually so much pressure in this deck that you wouldn't believe. Because if you get double stand and you restand like a Dragonic Overlord that you counterblasted for and a Heatnail Salamander, so it's just really deadly because of shit like that.
And then when you Persona Blast, what if, and you got a stand trigger and you know you can Persona Blast, you stand your back row, well you can swing for a higher number too.
Pretty much.
And then-
It's super useful.
It works more in the defensive style deck.
In the offensive, I prefer.
You don't wanna-
I suggest 8 crit.
You don't want to pressure
I
them
don't know
too
what I didn't
fast.
see your deck profile of Dauntless Reverse. So I don't
Yeah.
know what you play.
No, I play 8 crit.
Just 'cause
But
it's a
you
lot
don't
harder,
want to
so-
play 8 crit in this because you don't want to pressure them down to limit break too fast because that's
So,
not good.
Instead of 8
I
crit,
pooped on him one
we're
time when
playing-
that happened.
4 crit. And if you're wondering why we have so many crits, blame Marl's 44 because he's like, no, let's trick them for 12. Thinking you're playing 12 crit or 8 crit or something because
Yeah.
look, we had 3 different triggers. We did have 4 because he said, oh, you know what? Let's trick them to see if they can think that they're playing
So-
that he's playing 16 crit. I'm like, no one's gonna fall for that. Maybe the 12 crit, but
Yeah,
think no one's gonna fall
I
for
was
16
being
crit.
silly. And what else?
we play 4 Gattling Claw Dragon draw trigger. The draw trigger you should run in almost every Kagero deck, unless
Pretty
with Seal
much.
Dragons.
You need your. You need
The
your.
reason you play him is because of his ability, Counterblast 1, move to Soul, retire grade 0. So it's a great. You actually have 2. Is it 2 or 3 different?
Most of the time when I've
Dude,
played this deck,
you have-
I've actually gotten
If you
him
look
into
at
my
this-
hand
If
from
you
the
look
start.
at this, actually, his ability, I forgot to explain this though, if I can ever pick it up.
I'm
Flame
sure
Sea
everybody
Salamander,
knows.
if you don't know, is if you hit, is it a Vanguard? Yeah, if it hits a
It's-
Vanguard, put it back to deck, which gets you a trigger.
Hold on. It's a Heatnail Salamander clone for
Grade 0s.
grade 0s.
And it
he
gets
goes
you
back to that
stand
deck.
triggers back to deck, so that's more triggers for you to be popping.
And then
back.
Gattling Claw.
Gatling Claw is-
also retires.
The grade 0s.
Grade
So you
zeros.
have 8 starter killers in this deck, which is just ginormous because almost on your opening turn, after you take that counterblast, after you get that counterblast, you slap that down, counterblast, retire their starter. And some decks actually really rely on that starter.
So I'm sure there's 4 other cards that are very important. 4 more crit. No.
Okay,
Um,
so this is my preference, but I like to play only 1 Red Pulse in there.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? What? No, we already did the starter.
And 4 more Conros. Well, 4 Conros.
Alright, the next triggers. Come on, bring on
I
the
bet
triggers.
you all guessed this. Oh my god. 4 heal triggers. What a surprise.
Rainbow triggers. Why the decision on rainbow triggers?
I like the rainbow triggers. We play test it. I felt like there wasn't enough crit pressure before. In the other way, which you can do it is, 5 stand, 5 draw, 2 crit. But I feel like I was either drawing or damage checking the crits and never actually drive checking them.
Yeah.
And when I did, it never seemed to help me then.
Yeah, it never seemed to help when we were able to pick them off too fast and such. So we found out the rainbow triggers worked better, especially with, you don't really need the 5 draw with Dracokid helping searching for the end, and you actually have a lot of drop and draw potential too.
You just have so much cycling and retiring in this
You
deck.
don't need the 5 draws.
Yeah, you have so much pressure
4 is
already
good
that
enough.
it works. That's about it. I don't know what else to say about this deck.
The crits is to make, yeah, we already talked about the
it's
crits.
just a really pressure heavy deck, defensive. It works.
We're both talking at the same time. Everybody's getting confused.
And it's amazing. It's a great deck to play. There is one other deck that we're going to deck profile, not tonight, but next time he sees me, I'll probably be finished it. Not going to spoil it now. But I'll say
there'll
this
probably
much.
be another one from Lucas Pro Kid as well. Because,
I know a lot more about that deck because it's actually
maybe
my
1
main
or 2,
deck.
maybe even 3.
Wait, it's actually my main deck. I'm really good with it. I play it on Crayon Line all the time. I think I've only ever lost actually once. Tomorrow's 44 without me with like.
All right, stop talking about that deck and let's finish up with this
whatever.
deck.
Okay, so
let's clean this up. Clean this up.
So pretty standard stuff there. Slapped everything down again for you guys. So, boom.
So yeah, thank you guys for joining this.
Don't know if you guys
in this
noticed
part.
this actually, but it's weird.
He has one good art, and he always rides it.
Every time.
I always ride it whenever I play this deck. There's not once. I think I ran into the problem once where I didn't ride it.
And then it doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't.
And then you go to your game and you're like, 1 second, have to switch. I do it.
But yeah, so
SP Pacifica and that.
thank you guys for joining us in this deck profile, and thank you J Huff Ninja Thunder for this deck profile. It'll
Yep.
also be up on his channel, so
I really have to start
Yeah.
remember to bring drinks to these things whenever I record.
yeah, I know you really need drinks.
I do.
It gets you. But so yeah, as always, the deck list will be in the description below, and so with a link to J Huff Ninja Thunder's YouTube and Twitter, and same with my Twitter, Facebook, and Skype. Also remember to like and comment, and
Didn't
go
go
ahead
how
and
I wanted
subscribe.
it to.
And go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And yeah, there's cards everywhere with the good. Oh, okay. So these two stayed perfectly still.
No.
And he's over here.
Great.
He's like, later, fools.
Oh,
All right.
I was hoping it would actually like slide perfectly so you can just like see everything. Oh, whatever.
Oh, well.
Okay. This
All
is
right.
Ninja Thunder signing out. See you guys later.
Later.